Natasha.
Okay.
5 days ago, on the 6th, 2025, I was suspended. As a senator, I was suspended illegally because I submitted a petition of sexual harassment against the president of the Nigerian Senate.
Here Oh my God. Did you hear what she said? Now, it's not a question of if she's right or wrong. It is that what she took to IPU was that she was suspended for accusing the Senate president. IPU they're on their own. Then carry case, come meet them. Maybe there's one or two members of that body that know the real story. But the point is, this is a petition. Somebody brought a case. We would listen to it. So if Natasha says that she was suspended because she accused the president of the Senate of harassing her sexually, do you think media is going to edit it and say, hey, Natasha, why are you doing this to us? Me and you know, say. They would report what Natasha said. And when the Senate suspends, they would also report the reason given by the Senate. It's important to understand that if media is done properly, the job is to be a mirror, a reflection. So when society does what it does, you hold the mirror up and show it. Garbage in, garbage out. Natasha, say it again.
Submitted a petition of sexual harassment against the president of the Nigerian Senate.
Wait,
March 2025, I was suspended. As a senator, I was suspended illegally because I submitted a petition of sexual harassment against the president of the Nigerian Senate.
Okay. Natasha did not say it's because I don't want to change seat. And many Nigerians have shared this sentiment because the punishment does not seem like it tallies with the offense. Anyways, my question, because that has happened at some point, what steps should the Senate take to maintain public confidence? Because a lot of that confidence has been lost. If you go on social media and read the reactions to the Natasha Pabio saga, not very wonderful things are said about the Senate. And what do you make of the Senate's defense at the IPU? 0817-923-0002. The penalty for Natasha excessive. She speaks out her own friends. Sexual harassment, I think it's essential to prioritize fairness and justice in this case. Christian Williams from Iboeche says, hello, good evening.
Hello, Sir Morocco.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Comrade Clinton. I'm calling from Bori.
Go ahead, comrade.
I personally believe that the Senate have taken every step necessary to address this issue. For me, I am not emotional. I'm not sentimental about this thing. The action of Senator Natasha is just to bring Nigeria into disrepute. That's what I see. Because for you, that your matter is already before a court in Nigeria, to run to the international scene, even without the matter being determined by the court, that you were suspended because you alleged that the president sexually harassed you. Failing to let the public know that you were suspended based on your action in flouting the House rules. That was the premise of this whole thing. And you in media, you're also aware, Amorako. So why go public and lay a false premise? Is it not to hoodwink the public? So I think that people should not attach emotions to this. I think the woman is trying to misdirect the public, and this is wrong. Okay. Go back and face your matter. If it's in court already, let it be determined in court. The Senate have openly given you a window that you can come back and apologize to the Senate, and they will reduce your suspension or even remove it. Instead, you're going international. What do you start to gain going international?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's see. A few messages before the break. Owenete says, Senator Natasha in IPU is a step in the right direction, but the authority of the Senate saying her suspension was gross misconduct and not sexual harassment. Her privilege taken away and salary, the Senate decision was hasty. Owenete says, after the break, we talk some more. Please stay with us.
mandated by the Nigerian National Assembly to present a response to Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's speech delivered yesterday at the 69th session of the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan was suspended for gross misconduct and unruly behavior, and not as a result of allegation of sexual harassment or assault. Let it be unequivocally stated that Senator Uduaghan was suspended solely for a persistent act of misconduct, blatant disregard for the provisions of the Senate Standing Orders 2023 as amended, and gross indiscipline, nothing more, nothing less. This is still the voice of the leader of the Senate. It has come to the attention of the Senate that some media reports are attempting to falsely suggest that Senator Uduaghan's suspension was due to allegations of sexual harassment. This is completely untrue, misleading, and a calculated attempt to distort the facts. If Senator Uduaghan had strictly followed our guiding principles, the Senate would have treated her petition based on merit in line with its practice, but she never obeyed the established practices of the institution where she was serving.
Okay, so that's exactly how we got here. And here is that the Senate has defended its suspension of Senator Natasha at the IPU, the Inter-Parliamentary Union, the same ground that Senator Natasha went to report. So we're asking, what steps should the Senate take to maintain public confidence? Because they're losing it or they've lost it. And what do you make of the Senate's defense to the IPU? Questions begging answers. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. Nigeria's Senate defense is watery. Natasha will send Akpabio to his village. The woman keeps insisting he has evidence. Mind you, modern-day sexual harassment is not all about wanting to sleep with a woman. Chooks from Rumomoy says. Ike says a new definition of sexual harassment should be made. Nobody harassed Natasha, and she has accused many men of harassing her. She's the only woman, and to think she's pretty is nothing. Senate should add 3 more months to her suspension. Her action is to bring Nigeria to disrepute. She faltered the Senate rule, Ike from Eneka says. Greetings, Natasha is just playing the victim card, which it would be difficult for her case. Okay, and that's from Ike. Chima Uzoma, still on WhatsApp, says, Mrs. Natasha has never raised the issue of sexual harassment until she was invited to face the Senate Committee on Ethics. Why is she twisting the whole story to whip up sentiment, public sentiment, and some gullible Nigerians are falling for it? I believe she will lose in court, finally, because she has no evidence, Uzoma Chima says. And Mike says, what do you expect from imposed on Nigerians? Yesterday was Joy Nunue of NDDC, today is Natasha. Who will be next tomorrow? Comrade Mike is asking. Okay, back to the phone lines. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Sam.
Good evening.
Good evening. This is Lawson calling from Istanbul.
All right, go ahead.
By the way, the weather here is clement, fine, and okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Seriously, the clarification was necessary because I noticed when Natasha went there, she lied. She lied. That in itself should tell us that some of these things she said may not be true. She knows exactly why she was suspended. We all know why she was suspended. This so-called sexual harassment thing even came after that altercation. After that, Natasha is somebody that even when the Senate president is entering, she doesn't even stand up. She was just breaking the Senate rules. And I am shocked that she went to the UN and then lied about it. That's really unfortunate. So the clarification was necessary, and at least it tells us something that she may not altogether be saying the truth about even the sexual harassment. Maybe just some kind of way to cover up for some of the mistakes she has made. It is really unfortunate, honestly. I am disappointed, Sam. Seriously disappointed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll have to wait and see who is telling the truth. And that means proper investigation must be conducted. Else, we would never know. Years from now, we'll keep asking, did he do it? Did he not do it? Was she lying? Was she telling the truth? On Facebook, Ugochukwu Williams says, see, they even sent a woman to go to IPU so they would look innocent of the petition, Senate of Nigeria. Ugochukwu, there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, it was best that they sent a woman. Because imagine it were a man going there to read the position of the Senate, right? The Senate would look insensitive. So that was good. I will have to commend them on that. It was good that they sent a woman. Vincent Boniface says, as much as I don't like the current Senate president, I think Natasha is trying to belittle the Nigerian Senate. This is why I don't like women being in such position. Come on, Vincent, you're better than this. The mistakes of a few women should not be used to represent women in general. Charles Okoye says, Sam, there's no step the Senate can take to redeem itself in the heart of those who have vowed never to see any reason with the Senate. From day one, it has been obvious that Natasha was merely deflecting from her offense, and being that Nigerians are emotional and sentimental, she somehow succeeded in completely relegating her violation of the House rule to the background, and she got Nigerians talking about the sexual harassment instead. As for the severity of her sanction, she deserves the 6 months and deserves more for the way she has been going on. She refused to honor the invitation of the Ethics and Privileges Committee. Rather, she went on singing about sexual harassment just to deflect. Okay? That's the position of Charles Okoye. And a message just came in. Udo Edidiong says Natasha is obviously lying. Let's go back to the phone lines. 08179230002. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's your name?
Okay, my name is AK. I am calling from Airport Road.
All right.
Okay, so for me, I would say let's keep sentiment aside and do a thorough analysis of what is going on. We all saw where all this started was that she was told to change seat.
That's right.
And if my memory serves me right, something about change seat or no change seat, it used to happen a few times, maybe once in a while in the Senate. And then she said, no, she's not changing seat. She was already seated, and she had a reason why she was saying, you wanted to keep me somewhere else or whatever. And you started quoting that she needed to speak based on another other number of whatever rule they use. We saw that. In the rule of discipline, there is proportionality. If it is because of that, I mean, you and I would want to think that 6 months suspension would be something else. I am up to having that conversation with anyone. To say, oh, she refused to change it and we gave her 6 months suspension. But the drama continued when she now came back, and now there was now some committee around looking at what happened, and she now went to court to say, she also went to start accusing the Senate president of sexual harassment, how many billion, and then we now had a quick sitting of a committee to change events. Assuming that I'm not conceding to that, to say that's the fact, it's possible for anyone to interpret to say the later event may have informed that sanction. If she didn't go to court to say sexual harassment, if she never mentioned sexual harassment and maintained her position of not changing that seat, would she have been given 6 months suspension without pay? Suspension also means cutting off her constituency completely for 6 months. Would she have been given that? So that is now, so the Senate should not play to the gallery of voting of sentiment, even accusing media. They should also come out and explain clearly why they did that. Is it in their rule to give somebody 6 months suspension for refusing to change it? If they can prove it by that, I would say, well, it's their rule and they all sign up to it. That's my take in this.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You see, the Senate has a history of giving out questionable suspensions. Go look it up. The Senate has suspended more than one person for 180 days. Yeah. And these were men. In their case, they both went to court, and of course the court said, no, we can't have this. Suspension of the representative is suspension of the constituent. So these people cannot be underrepresented for this long. So suspension is a go-to strategy of the Senate. Like my people in Nigeria would say, no be today. As to whether it is right or wrong, we would have to look at the House rules. But speaking based on the principles of equity and fairness, it doesn't feel her seat. She got that length of suspension. And it's not just that, it's all the things that followed. Insubordination, as English-speaking people would call it. But this is where we are. It's currently before the IPU. Natasha says she was suspended for allegations of sexual harassment. Senate says she was suspended for insubordination. We wait, we watch, and when events unfold, we discuss on Nigeria Info. I'm getting to the end of this conversation, so I'll do justice to comments. I can't take any more calls. Which courts? Senator Natasha knew that Nigeria's courts are not reliable. That's why she had to take a step further. The Akpabio camp trying to blame the media is nothing but a strategy to change the narrative. It's abundantly obvious that her suspension happened because she filed for sexual harassment against the Senate president. That is from ND. And Godday Teme says, I wonder how people reason in our country. What was the bone of contention before she was suspended? Already, there was a case of sexual harassment before she and the Senate president. She being disobedient on the floor of the House is secondary. Anything she does in the House will not be seen as good in the eye of the Senate president. Okay? Clef Austin says, does it mean that Senator Natasha doesn't know why she was suspended? So we done our drama. I think we don't carry our drama. Reach international space. It's all right. Okay. My goodness, the messages don't seem to end. Good evening. Why didn't the Senate president go himself or send his wife to put up the fence from Charles? Come on, Charles. They sent the right person. They sent the head of a committee. What's the name again? Sorry, let me get that. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Diaspora and NGO. No. The name of the person they sent. Oh my. Why can't I find this? House Committee Chair, Kafilat Ogbara. Yeah. So they sent the right person. Jojo Adewale says, Oracle, I think something is fishy somewhere. The case started from sitting arrangement, moved to sexual harassment. Today is gross misconduct. I hope it doesn't end at treasonable felony. Well, this is what it is. We're hoping that something good comes out of this because the image problem that has been created, believe me, it might take a while for us to do justice to it. But as a media outfit, we follow, we report, we analyze, and we talk for development. That's our job. A program comes up now, and at 6 is a major news. Stay with us.